Hey, welcome to Integrated Preparedness. I'm Steve Smith, and how are you all today? I want to talk about preparing for survival. I mean, that's what we talk about, right? We talk about preparedness, we talk about survival. We're here in the Smoky Mountain National Park. What a beautiful place this is. A lot of you have been here. You know, I've gotten comments on the last couple about how many of you live around here. It's so nice to know that I'm surrounded by good people. But if you haven't been here, I'll tell you, it's one of the most beautiful parks we've ever been in. Take a look. Let's see. The kids are back in there climbing around. Do you see them back in there? Morgan's up closer to us in the white shorts, and the boys are back there on the other part. You know, preparedness is a multifaceted, multi-dimensional activity. There is so much that goes into it. When you think about the kind of life that we live now, how complicated it is, all the technology, what it took to go from the old days when this was made a park to where they had people living up in these hills in cabins who didn't really own the property. They were just living up here. You know, log cabins and stone cabins and things like that, much like the Ozarks, closer to us. When you think how life has progressed in complexity from that day to where we are today, and in some cases it's good, and in some cases I think a lot of us agree that it's not that good. But it shows you kind of the ladder that has gone from the basics to the complex. And when we talk about survival, really what we're doing is we're taking it back. We're taking it down that ladder of complexity back to the basics, back to the simple things. And you know, so how do we practice that? It's one thing to prepare, and you know, survival and preparedness, you know, two edges of the same sword. I think you'll do a lot better surviving if you're prepared, you know. But it kind of depends on how you're looking at things, where you're coming at it. Practice makes everything easier, doesn't it? When we try to just read about things and try to remember how to do things, you know, it's like fixing a car. Right? You can read about. Now in my day it was Chilton's. Now it's YouTube. You can read about how to fix, you know, whatever it is, do a brake job on your car, whatever like that. But until you do it, you don't really have it, right? You don't have the skills. They're not yours. They're simply the skills of others that you've read about. And the same is survival. But the good thing about survival, preparedness, survival, is that we can practice, and practice is called camping. And it's fun. Now, not everybody thinks that it's fun. I get that, but most people do. You know, you get kids out to a place like this, and you can't keep them from climbing around. I mean, I know that my kids would rather be here. Morgan just fell in the river. But she got back out and she's laughing. It's not a deep river. As you can see, it's you know, that's what you have here in the mountains, at least here in the mountains of Tennessee. You go up in the Rockies, you got big roaring stuff, but I like this. This is just amazing. But anyway, preparing, you know, preparation for survival is called camping, and most people like to do it. Now, a lot of you guys out there are expert and beyond campers. Many of us came up from the days of Cub Scouts through Boy Scouts. I also did something called Indian Guides. Did any of you ever do something called Indian Guides? I don't know if they have it anymore, but it was through the YMCA, and we just loved. I mean, camping was a part of our life. We lived for the campouts, and you know, we got beads for all of our campouts, and I used to joke about you'd get a different color of bead for every for the weather of every campout that you were on. And white was if it snowed, and black was if it rained, and green was if it was good weather, and I forget some others. I think all my beads were black and white. But you know, you learn a lot more camping in bad situations than good situations. However, for those of you who have done it a lot and you're well versed in it and you're comfortable living outdoors with the the bare necessities. By the way, I'll keep an eye and see if there's a bear sneaking up behind me. You know that your learning curve, whether it started as a kid or later in life, there is a learning curve to it. Much like gardening, much like anything in life. And the first thing that you do, a lot of people when they start camping, and I'll say this to people who have not camped very much, and I invite everybody else, all of yours, share your camping experiences, share your advice in camping. I'm not going to try to give all the advice here. I couldn't. Take me all day and tomorrow and everything like that. My point here is just to kind of introduce it, and then you all will be able to help others when you put in your comments. So if you're newer to it, read the comments, and especially I want to take the opportunity here to invite you over to the Patreon channel. The link is down below. We have kind of our really upper tier people over there. It only costs you $1 a month, and not only do you get more from me, but you get a lot from everybody over there. So do read the comments on YouTube, but definitely come on over and read everything on Patreon, because you're going to be able to learn from other people, and maybe you have a lot to share that you could share with people too. But if you're not one of those expert campers, it's fun. So let me just give you a few things here to throw out to you to get you started. And the first is, try not to do it in bad weather. Okay, especially if you want to get the family on board and all that. Even if you're an expert, and you want to get your family involved, a day like today is just perfect. It's overcast. We had a little bit of rain. It's about 68, 70 degrees. Everybody's happy. Nobody's sweating to death. It's not freezing. You can come out and set up your camp and have a great time. It's the perfect weather for it. Have the basics. When you get started, a lot of people have a tendency to overpack, right, and yet not pack the right things. Okay, so I don't think that I'll get too far into the weeds on this, because I know a lot of you are going to be helping teach others in the comment sections. But think about the basic things that you need, and we'll get back to what are the things that you need for survival. Well, you need food and water, right? Make sure you bring food and water. And too many people, they load up on the Diet Coke and everything like that, and then they haul in 2 liters. You don't need to live out here like you, shouldn't live at home, and that is, drinking down the pop and all that. But water, you want lemonade, something like that, that's great to have too. It makes everybody happy. Bring your mixes, bring water and bring lemonade mix, so you're kind of putting it together out here. Don't try to bring your life from the house out to the campsite. So you need water. You got water. You need food. Make it simple. Bring some simple things to eat, but then bring things that you can, cook over the campfire. And you start off with the easy stuff. You start off with the hot dogs and the marshmallows, and then you get into burgers if you are up to cooking in cast iron. That's always the next step up. A lot of people aren't. There's nothing wrong with bringing out aluminum pans and stainless steel and stuff like that. Build yourself a fire, cook it over the fire, and think about the things that you can cook in a frying pan, in a pot, things like simple things. Okay, you're not going to need complicated food in order to be happy when you're cooking outside in the woods at your campsite. There is nothing that makes food better than cooking it over a campfire, being outside at a campsite, sitting around with people that you love, or at least like. If it's family, I hope you love them. And see, we got some, anyway, and that's what, they say that hunger is the best seasoning. Well, being outside is seasoning even beyond that. So don't over plan it. And then bring the things that you need. Are you gonna, hopefully you'll stay overnight. Now, this is not, I don't believe we're at an overnight camp. We might be. Yeah, I think we are at an overnight campsite here. We're not staying here overnight. We're going back to our room. But I tell you, and because we hadn't planned it, we have a lot of other things to do, and this isn't a camping trip. But I'd love to just stay here. I'd just soon stay here than go back to our room. So you need very, very few things to be very, very happy on a camping trip. You know, bring a tent, a good water repellent tent. If you're going to do it in cold weather, make sure that it's a cold weather tent. But if you're just getting started, don't do it in cold weather. Bring sleeping bags, appropriate sleeping bags, and very simple clothing. Bring good footwear. Bring several extra pairs of socks, because there's no way you're going to play around something like this and not fall into the water. Now the adults won't. You adults won't. Bring several. Bring layered clothing, because these place like this, the mountains, they can change temperatures pretty quick. And then just bring a good attitude, and bring an open mind, and bring a desire to learn, because as you camp, you're going to discover what you want to do differently. Okay? Oh, I wished I'd brought more of this, or I didn't need that at all. And it takes a while to shake it out. That's why people who have been doing it for a while, it's very simple. They know exactly what to take, and they don't take things they don't need. That's the secret to stuff like this. So this is just beautiful. I already took you through a drive through into the national forest, the Smokies here the other day, so I won't do that again. But we're going clear up through the mountains here, and we're just going to have a good day. So think about that. Prepare to survive, right? That's what camping is, and it can be a great experience for friends, for family, for friends and family. And more people ought to get out there and do more of it. And it helps to slow you down too. How many of us are just going all the time, right? All the time. We got something to do. And when you're setting up camp and you're just kind of, enjoying God's nature, it forces you back to look, to experience, and to think about the basic things that really are important. So that's all I wanted to say today. We're going to get back out here and tromp around these mountains a little bit and see what we can find. Now remember that we prepare well today in order to live well tomorrow. And preparing well today could mean preparing to survive by getting out there and doing a little camping with the family and friends. You all have a good day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.